What's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Mandatory Live. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media channels. You'll see on the screen the ways that you can connect with us on our personal accounts. Also, keep in mind, Bryan has his own YouTube channel. So make sure to go support that. Hit that like and subscribe button there as well. Does a bunch of everything on there. Bryan, literally everything, a variety of stuff. And sometimes you might see the mandatory stuff on there as well. So make sure to like that, double like it if you can. And yeah, Bryan, lots to kind of get into because yesterday you were at the Jake Paul tank presser and it's official. And apparently the weight is going to be at 195 pounds.
The max
And
weight, yes.
yes, the max weight, 195. We all know it
We're gonna
takes not to get up
play.
to there.
We're gonna play. Because I went or got some video. We're gonna play a bunch of that and react to it. That's basically gonna be a show today.
Yeah.
Also, the card is out, so we could talk a little bit about that. Alicia
And some
Baumgartner is
very,
on it.
very good some women's fights. And Yocosta Valle is on there too.
Yes, and
So,
we like Yocosta Valle up here.
yeah.
This is gonna be her debut with MVP. I hope she's higher up on the card than I saw listed, but that was a little odd. I was like, she's like on the under card, but okay. Gary Antoine Russell also, which I found real interesting, but also Tom Brown, PBC, like they're involved in this, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting? I really want to get to this quickly. We didn't touch on this. When Oscar Valdez fought, Top Rank, it was a Top Rank card, and that was on ESPN Deportes. And then when Inoue fought, it was on Facebook Live. Bryan, we didn't touch on this. What is Top Rank doing? This is not actually part of the show rundown. But let me tell you, when I was watching ESPN Deportes and I was watching the Oscar Valdez fight, and it was all in Spanish, I was like, I guess I'm getting ready for my Mexico trip because I had no idea what was going on. But you know, it's interesting because Top Rank doesn't have anywhere to put their fights on. Like, should this be of concern? And are we going to hear something soon?
We better. So Top Rank, if you're keeping score at home, 2 months since their last broadcast. I was there also, and we talked about it immediately after. We talked about this fight a lot, but that was Xander Zayas in the main event, won his first world title. That was already 2 months ago. It was late July. It was like July 26th. A couple weeks after Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor fought again, Shakur Stevenson, Subriel Matias, Edgar Berlanga, all that. And the funny thing is, today a report came out about Xander Zayas. Well, one, yesterday he signed with Rimas Sports, which is an agency that Bad Bunny co-founded, co-owns, and he's basically going to be represented by that agency now. And moving forward, I wonder what that means, if it means anything at all. It could be just representation. Okay. He reportedly is looking at Abbas Barrow as far as the unification goes. Like he's looking at potentially fighting for like adding the WBA title. Barrow beat Yoenis Telez earlier this summer, actually, in like August last month. And Xander Zayas, as we know, wants to fight in Puerto Rico, wants to fight in December. We'll see if that still takes place. But he's kind of running out of opponents. Bakar Murtazayev was supposedly going to fight. Don't know what's happening with that now. Maybe it's Josh Kelly, maybe it's not, but that's been in the works. Erickson Lubin versus Virgil Ortiz is happening. Sebastian Fudora, Keith Thurman next month. And Xander like needs an opponent, and Top Rank also needs shows because Michaela Mayer, by the way, to your point, Shantelle is also fighting coming up, and that's not being promoted by Top Rank. Like she's on the card, but it's not a Top Rank card, and it's a title fight.
Yeah.
It's a title fight for her. I think she's moving up in weight and challenging for a title. But like Keyshawn Davis has to get busy. Bruce Carrington has to get busy. Richard Torres is tweeting about, you know, when's he gonna? He's teasing that he might fight in Mexico, apparently coming up. And I saw a clip going around of him talking about maybe fighting like Moses Atama. I doubt that's gonna happen next, but you know, that's being floated around out there. So it's like Top Rank, like, are you going to get the Turner deal? Are you going to get like Peacock? Are you going to just Facebook Live shit? Which
That's terrible. The Facebook Live thing was terrible. That Inoue fight should have not been on Facebook Live. For Top Rank to have that fight on Facebook Live, was embarrassing. Like, they should have been ahead of this. They knew this deal was done a long time ago. They knew it was done a long time ago. Why wasn't this taken care of?
Just
Not
put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's YouTube TV, right? They can make money. I think YouTube would make more sense if Top Rank can't find anywhere to be, but they deserve to be on a legit platform. They deserve to be on linear TV or a streaming service. So that needs to be figured out, and that's worrisome that we haven't heard anything. And Inoue's fight, one of the best boxers, if not the best boxer in the world right now, whether however you have it in terms of your top three, right?
Yeah.
He shouldn't be fighting on Facebook Live.
Well, in 2025, like this would have been incredible in 2010, like incredible.
So
But
maybe in 2008, yeah, we would have
yeah,
been like, oh my
yeah,
god, this fight's gonna be on Facebook. I
yeah.
don't even have
Whoa,
Facebook.
they have live on Facebook. Whoa, holy shit.
Yeah. I just posted a bag of chips on Instagram. Whoa! Like,
Yeah,
remember when Instagram was just like pictures?
innocent.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that's when Instagram was dope.
yeah.
I will say this though, it's embarrassing and hopefully they figure it out. Just something I wanted to touch on because I still think it's weird that they don't have a deal. We haven't heard anything. And it is worrisome. And it's like, if you can't find, just go into zone, do something.
Don't
Do
go on song.
something. Do something though. It can't be on Facebook Live, Brian. I don't even have Facebook. I couldn't
Me
even log
neither.
on to watch that fight. I had to find it on YouTube after.
Me either. By the way, the Michaela Mayer fight, and we'll get to Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, I promise, in like a minute. The Michaela Mayer fight, Montreal Casino, Thursday, October 30th, against Mary Spencer for the WBA title at 154 pounds. So Michaela Mayer, former super featherweight champion, moving up again to 154. I low-key think she might be chasing like a Clarissa Shields fight at this point.
I mean, why not? Right? Like, let's be real here. Why
Who's
not?
fighting on a Thursday at the Montreal Casino, not even like the Bell Center. You know what I mean? Like,
But she wouldn't sell out the Bell Center, dude.
She wouldn't, but like she's fighting Mary Spencer.
Yeah, but like they would never put that in the Bell Center. Like, I'm sorry. It's never going to be in the Bell Center. It has to be a massive, massive fight. Not even if Cody Crowley, who I believe was a bigger name at one point. What happened to Cody? I don't know. He wouldn't have. Yeah, he wouldn't have sold out something like that too. Like, I just know the market of boxing. In Montreal, boxing will sell, but it's not the Bell Center.
It's niche. It's niche.
You know what I mean?
Is Montreal Casino big?
No, it's like any other casino in Canada. So okay. Decent. You know, it's not like the biggest. But Montreal is supposed to be like our Vegas. It is popping. It's cool. And there's really good
fights on this card.
And there's really good looking people there. But that's all. There is. Have you been to Montreal? You've been to Montreal, Brian. There's good looking people there.
I could attest to that. Arthur Biarslanov is fighting Sergey Lipinets.
I love Sergey Lipinets. Does he still got it? Does he still got it? But anyway. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be the place to put it though. But nonetheless, guys, let's move on to Tank and Jake Paul, because this is actually happening, Brian. Are you and the maximum weight is 195 pounds. So let's see if Jake Paul is going to get down to there, because he's got to be walking around at least 230, right? 220. Like, come on, man. That's a huge cut for him too.
He literally, like, even if so let's say he makes 195 and he shall. Tank wasn't answering questions about his weight. Neither was Nikisa Badarian, obviously. How's he gonna know? But yeah. Tank doesn't like talking about that kind of stuff, which, I get. Maybe he'll be 150, whatever. Like, he walks around bigger than 135, like considerably bigger, but he's not gonna be anywhere near what Jake Paul is gonna be. So that's interesting. It's a circus fight, but it's happening. Let's lay out some rules. So this is officially an exhibition. This will have judging. This will have 3 judges per Nikisa Badarian, the co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, who did a press scrum after. 10 3-minute rounds and 12-ounce gloves. So not 10, not 8, 12-ounce gloves. A little bit safer. And you know that if you just are on the heavy bag at a gym, usually you'll use 16. Some people can use 12s and things of that nature as well. Usually you start out with 16, but those are sort of the ground rules there. This is going to be at the Kaseya Center. Georgia wouldn't approve it because of the weight difference. So you could always go to Florida or Texas to get this done. And they went to Florida, just down to Miami. And of course, Miami will take the money. They'll gladly take the money. No shade to Miami at all. It's just the everything going on in that city is just hilarious and also somewhat unfortunate. Anyway, we have the presser. We're not going to play all of it, although we'll play some of the interesting parts and react to them as we go. This is what I recorded, so if you don't like the quality, whatever. But I'm not going to like take what Netflix streamed and just get banged on YouTube. Here we go. Brian Custer was hosting this too. It kind of was what it was, and surprisingly started basically on time. Which with Tank, you never know.
Might be getting his hair braided, so it could take a minute.
This is somebody who was getting his hair braided before the Ryan Garcia presser and was maybe 2 hours late. So, but he showed up on time. Why? Because Netflix was probably like, "Yo, show up."
Yeah.
I was just getting his facial reactions to shit because Tank makes hilarious faces.
He made some really interesting statements in this press conference. I thought some very interesting stuff.
This is Jake Paul answering a question about just, to some degree, the legitimacy of this win, if he were to get it.
You put the volume up, dude.
You don't hear it? I hear it.
Well, yeah, because you're playing it. Because you're playing.
Well, no, that's not how that works. Usually, you just.
I would be able to hear it, Brian. I don't hear it. Okay. Like I can hear a little bit, but it's very, very low.
Oh, so you do hear it? Why is it so low? That doesn't make sense.
It's so low that I can't hear it. Is what I'm saying.
We'll pull it from YouTube.
Yeah,
I was alternative. But basically, Jake Paul was like, what he's always gonna have. He thinks just some level of doubt clouding any victory he gets, and he's doesn't really care whether or not people sort of legitimize this one if he were to get it. And what I would say to that is like, yeah, I mean, people are going to say you fought somebody who's half your size. Like, even though, and they were selling this as like, yo, you would beat a top pound for pound boxer, which is true, but also there's a major, major size difference here. Gervonta Davis actually mentioned the power, and like he doesn't really know. Like he'll ultimately like see what that's like. He'll test it in the ring, but he doesn't really have a feel for like how this is going to go. I'm sure he thinks he's going to win. He said that he will actually take this seriously. We'll see. But he did make reference to that later on, where he was like, "Look, you shouldn't," to Jake Paul, because Jake Paul was, doing the shit talking. And honestly, all of us up here would expect Jake Paul to be the wittier one of the two. But Gervonta Davis was like, yo, you shouldn't, essentially you shouldn't wake up. You shouldn't wake up your opponent with trash talk ahead of a fight. So
no, and I still don't understand why they're doing this. Like, I know they're doing it for the bag, and I understand that.
That's it.
But it's so stupid, and Tank got upset during this presser because everybody was like asking him a bunch of other questions, like, when are you going to fight Shakur? When are you going to fight this guy? And Tank was like not having it. He said he's going to fight who he's going to fight. And I think people will watch it. I don't really know what to expect from this fight, Brian. I think max Tank can get up to 150. Max. What do you think? When you talk about maximum weight, how much do you think Tank can get up to?
I think he can get higher than 150, but I also don't think you want to, because you want to also be at optimum level speed. Like, he's going to be a lot faster and in much better shape. He's never fought above 140, although we all know like he's not small for even lightweight. I still think, though, let's say if he gets to 155, like there's a 40-pound difference there. How much could he actually overcome that? You know what I mean? Um, so it's gonna be interesting. I think with Jake Paul specifically though, the power is the only advantage he could really have. That's it. It's really
Yeah.
it. Like in terms of size also, but that's it. Tank is gonna have everything else. I can't believe we're talking about this. Like
How do you think Tank's power feels on Jake? Like, because Tank has like real power, but it's like against a guy like Jake who's I don't even know how much Jake weighs, but he's got to be at least walking around like 220, 230, right? Like normally. Jake Paul is a big guy. Tank isn't. Like he's 5'4". Like how tall is Tank? He's not a tall man.
5'4", 5'5".
Okay.
Like I'm
Let's say
easily
5'5" to be
I'm
generous.
not a tall dude. I'm easily taller than him, like very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Well, I think you're what, like 5'6", 5'7"?
Not 6. All right, relax.
Okay. Sorry.
The
Sorry.
7 is important there. The 7 or 8 is important there. 8, it
Yeah.
depends on the sneakers. But we'll go with 7.
Get the Draco slides. It gives you an inch. Drewski wears it. Okay, anyways. And
Should we
some
continue
hoopers.
this? Let's see.
Yeah.
Does this work better on YouTube? Let's see.
Okay.
Even leading up to like
Good.
the rematch of the Roach fight, it was more so like I don't want to get too much in it, but
He kept doing that. And this is why I play. He kept doing that. Like, yeah, I don't want to say too much. Like, bro, you're at a press conference. You know what I mean? Like, you're at a press conference. There's another part I want to get to. We should actually spend some time on this. This is legitimate. Because there was some back and forth. Like, as this continued to progress, there was some back and forth. At last, we saw some exchanges. Here we go. This is the part that I wanted to highlight here.
there's this. We don't want to say it, but things can go sideways. So we ain't taking him lightly. We definitely looking at Jake Paul as a real fighter. I watch him when I'm training, when I'm home from the gym. And, we're not taking him lightly. Again, it's going to be good for the sport. I'm just glad to be here.
Jake, how you win this fight?
Let's stay there for a second. Good for the sport.
I don't think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for like prize fighting, but it's not. Like this fight shouldn't be happening. This fight makes no sense in terms of Tank's career. Unless Tank is retired, why would he take a fight like this other than the bag? Don't you think that? I mean, I think he's going to make a lot of money for this fight. That's the only
answer.
reason.
Yo, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you think these are the two biggest stars in American boxing right now? American boxing stars?
Other than Bud Crawford, yeah. You see Bud come out with Nebraska the other day?
It's other than Bud now, because I think pre-Bud Canelo
is still, like, everyone knows who he is.
Mexican, though. I'm just like specifically American boxing stars.
Yep. I would agree with this.
At worst, these are two of the top 3, which is a problem. Like, let's say Bud, and I think reasonably, like, post Canelo, I think a lot of people, honestly, a lot of people discovered who he was because of that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a bunch of people probably who watched that who maybe heard of Jake Paul, maybe heard of Tank, who didn't really know Bud like that. And, he doesn't do a ton of interviews or whatever. And I don't know, all his interviews are kind of funny. Like,
and I would also say Amanda Serrano. Am I wrong for that? Because I think she's also in the conversation. Also in terms of women's boxing.
I don't think she's quite in that top 3. She's also Puerto Rican, but
yeah,
I don't think she's quite in that top 3. I think
top
she's
5
in the sport in terms of pure popularity. She's in the
top 10. Top 10 for sure.
10 for sure.
Yeah.
But are we having a domestic, like, America / North America conversation, or is this a worldwide conversation?
I consider Amanda Serrano from New York, right? So this is just a new North America conversation. Jake Paul would definitely be one of the biggest boxers and known fighters.
Jake and Tank are in the top 3.
Top 3 easy. I don't know. Yeah, it would be Bud, Tank, and Jake Paul. And maybe Ryan Garcia. He still has popularity. Ryan brings a lot of viewership to fights. I think Ryan would be top. I think Ryan's top 5, to be honest with you.
Might be even still. Alicia Baumgartner's up there somewhere. Clarissa Shields is up there somewhere.
I don't think Alicia's in the top 10 of
mm,
known. I think Shields and Serrano is. I think Alicia maybe top 20. I'm not putting her in the top 10. I'm
Shakur
not.
Stevenson is where?
Here's the thing. People hate Shakur, but they would love like that's the thing. It's like they want to watch him to hate him. And so that's not always about. It's like a LeBron thing.
He won some people over with his last fight against William Zepeda.
And
How many
think he
people
won a lot of
watched it
people over.
though? You know.
But people know who Shakur Stevenson is.
Yes.
And I you know what? We're just talking about known boxers. We're not talking about popularity, correct? Like
That's the same thing.
No,
isn't
sorry.
it?
I'm not.
Well, you mean skill? Like you were talking about popularity, not skill necessarily.
Yes. We're talking about
Yes.
like popularity, like not how good they are, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so I would put Devin Haney in there. Devin Haney's top 10.
I don't think anyone we're naming though is in the Paul Tank.
No, that's it.
You know?
It's Bud, Jake Paul, and Tank. And I think you could say
And Canelo, obviously, if we're incorporating all of North America, is still like
top
in that
five, 100%, because he's been like the only pay-per-view fighter for a minute.
top
right? Other than
one,
Tank.
maybe still like
Yeah.
in terms of popularity. Yeah, he's probably still number one.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. But Jake Paul's in the top 3.
Yeah, Usyk
Easy.
isn't, unfortunately.
No, but they're like,
They're the best, but
they are.
Us here, there are a lot of people who don't know who Naoya Inoue is, who are casual boxing fans, loosely watch boxing. Same thing with Usyk. Like they hardly know who he is.
Mhm.
They might know him as the guy who beat Tyson Fury because they know Tyson Fury. Like they knew Tyson Fury, they know Deontay Wilder, they know Anthony Joshua. Wilder's actually a good one, less so now. But at his peak, yeah, he was one of the most popular boxers here. And he wasn't even that popular, to be honest with you. Because the whole thing was like, oh, you should always know who the heavyweight champion is, where a lot of people didn't even know who he was, but he was still one of the more popular boxers in America.
That's
You know,
wild.
like-
I would put in his prime, I would put Deontay in there because Deontay drew a lot of viewership.
He was, but
Yeah.
boxing has also gotten more niche. So like someone like Jake Paul could come in and become one of the most popular guys in the sport. There's one other part of this press conference I want to get to because we should absolutely talk about this exchange. Let's see.
I'm so glad that God gave me this moment. I'm Gervonta Tank Davis's karmic retribution.
I'm curious, Tank. When you walk into the ring, how much
Biting
you
the
think you
shit
weigh?
out of his nails. See, that was a weight question. How much you think you weigh when you walk into the ring?
When I walk in the ring,
Yeah.
With or without the ankle monitor on.
that's corny. That's super corny. I don't know how much I weigh.
And I ain't us too.
Huh? What are you talking about?
How do you win this fight?
That outfit is trash. For real. That outfit is garbage. And that hairstyle. Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a fucking clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk. Name
You
it.
want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the fucking clown, buddy. You're the fucking clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
I can't disagree.
I got you a poodle.
No, okay.
I can't disagree with what Jake said there. Sometimes the truth like stings. That was true.
Tank, weirdly, there's a minute of this left. It may be in here, but he had an interesting response to this where
Do we have it on here?
it was clunky as fuck. I should have it. Let me see.
Okay, let's play it.
Since we on this, if I put my hands on females and everything like that, right? If I put my hands on females and everything like that, you know what I mean? Female, like, come on. It will be mad. You see how when I don't even want to bring up nobody thing, what's the name about that? But P. Diddy. When things got like that, no, listen. When one female get a charge, it was mad females coming out, right? So if I hit a female, right, wanting to be mad other females, like I ain't been just with one female. Like I'm 30 years old. Like let's be real. I've been with more than one female. One mad females come out and say something about me hitting them. No.
Okay.
I don't think it's best to compare yourself to Diddy ever. Tank should just not. He should not answer those type of questions. Like those are the ones where he should just plead the fifth. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. You know what? And he was stuttering. He didn't even know how to handle that, and he compared himself to Diddy. Diddy's a monster.
It was weird. One, there's a lot there. One, the Mohawk, the Mohawk thing was funny. I don't know how Jake Paul had clowns on deck like that. Did he know that was going to come up, and he just kind of summoned them when Tank was there? Some people would say, wrestling wise, this is a work. Two, or I guess three, whatever. I don't know how many points I'm making, but the domestic violence thing. We know that Tank has had allegations for years, and for this to be, because you know you're going to be asked about this. You have to know that. You and your team have to know that. And if you want to sort of skate by this or whatever, there has to be a better way to address these allegations. Now, I know people are going to say, look, charges have been dropped on multiple occasions, but we know that doesn't always mean
it didn't happen.
Right. Not to say that it definitively did, because for legal reasons, we're going to say allegedly and allegations and things of that nature. But
like, also listen to this. Okay, so
his rebuttal was weak ultimately. When it came to that, I also do think like but at the same time, I'm also not gonna be like Jake Paul is like the protector of women for signing up for this fight.
Well, he did really put women's boxing on a platform. He is an ally. No, listen.
You want to know how he started the presser?
What?
He wanted a moment of silence for.
Oh no, we're not doing that. Nah. Now I'm gonna take away that comment. I'll say this though. For the whole Tank thing, it's like it's alleged, right? But at the same time, it's like a lot of charges can be dropped. And I'm not saying this happened, but if I was a boxer, and I'm just thinking of with my mind, if I was someone famous, like what did Diddy do? He compared himself to Diddy. Diddy paid off a lot of people, allegedly.
Yeah, because right? we're still
allegedly.
I think we're awaiting sentencing. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know, but allegedly people got paid off in a lot of situations, right? And sometimes when things go away, I'm always like, someone get paid off allegedly. But there's also like real video footage of Tank at a basketball game, like manhandling a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like real footage.
Like the hallway or whatever. I'm not gonna
he got her, like it happened on court, and then he grabbed her, right. And then he like dragged her out. And like here's the thing, like
there were people there who were like it was an event. It was a public event. There were people there who were like, this is years ago. Like this is way before Tank had braids.
I think the bigger conversation with this, and it's not to smear Tank or anything, like it's all alleged, like we're not there, right? But there has been video footage of him like this. I think the bigger conversation is that he's not the first boxer to do this, right? There has been Mike Tyson, right? There's been tons of allegations against boxers who have allegedly put their hands on women. And I think the bigger conversation is that this is why there needs to be a union in boxing to get these guys some type of therapy. And Tank has talked about therapy. He's been open about it. He said that he wants to retire a little bit early, but this is why having a union for boxing is important, because I think it's deeper than just, there's different layers to why people do the things they do, man. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a therapist, but Tank has been very open about getting therapy, which I think is cool. But everything else is alleged, and it is what it is. I think he could have handled that better, and you never want to compare yourself to Diddy. It's the worst thing you could do, Tank.
All good points. Very good points.
Yeah.
I also would add on to that, like, I think similar to MMA fighters, although probably not as dark, but I mean, a lot of these guys are very individualistic in their business approach and are not worried about unionizing for the sake of other boxers, but would rather just look out for themselves. and maybe their immediate team and immediate family around them. So the idea of a union, I think, would be helpful for a lot of people, not just Tank and potentially like just a lot of like everybody basically in boxing, the boxers especially. And they could use one now, given what's going on with the Ali Act and given the pending TKO takeover, which is already, I guess, started to some degree. But if boxers are getting their rights stripped away, a union would help. The problem is, can you get all of these people or enough of them who are very individualistic, worried about themselves, self-preservation and money over everything? Could you get them to agree on a number of different terms and terminology in a deal that they can like have some form of agreement on something as complex as this? Can they do that? Right. And I question their willingness, not ability, but their willingness to be able to do that, even if it should be in their interest to do so. Like they should be there should be somebody wanting a union, like somebody prominent. Like there should be more like if Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, like a bunch of boxers who are probably, difference of opinion on other things, but we're like, hey, like we should pursue this. But unfortunately, the people who are at the very top of the sport are probably not going to fight for this. Like they're less likely to do so, I should say, because they have their money, they're taken care of, they're getting 7 figures a fight, maybe more. So they're probably less likely to do that. And the people who would probably fight for it are the equivalent of working class boxers. And you could argue like all boxers are in the working class, but working class boxers who are like dudes at club shows, club fighters, and who's really going to protect their advocacy, who's really going to look out for their best interests at the end of the day. Because, people who even watch this channel or watch any boxing channel probably only care about a select few boxers. As we just established, not many of them are very popular. So it's complicated. I do think though a union would be great to help out. But as far as the allegations go, like Tank did not handle that well. And obviously, this will probably be glossed over. And Jake Paul, like I'm not gonna hold him up for like the beacon of everything good in the world at all. You could do some digging there, but this is ultimately a clown show that's going to make a ton of money. It might outperform Canelo and Crawford in terms of viewership, in terms of money. And that's ultimately, like, to circle this back to the very beginning of this, that's ultimately why this is happening. It's just purely about money. And I've said it before on the show, we've never been, just as a society, more about money and greed and just doing things straight up for paper than we are right now. Like it's just very, very grim, dark, and honestly, it's just where we are. It's just where we are, man. It's just,
Yeah.
like, if Tank really cared about legacy and things of that nature, then obviously this wouldn't be happening.
He doesn't. This proves it. This proves it to me, because then he would fight Shakur, then he would fight a Devin Haney, then he would fight a Teofimo Lopez. And I've been riding for Tank, saying that he is the best lightweight, but when he's not fighting the top guys in the division, it's his legacy that gets put on the line. And maybe for him, it doesn't matter because, Tank is from Baltimore. He doesn't come from a lot, but I think he wants to have generational wealth. He wants to take care of his kids. He wants to take care of his family. And sometimes it's about that too. And sometimes that's more important than legacy, right? Maybe his legacy is what he leaves behind for his family. So you just never know what people's priorities are. And I don't think we need to blame Tank for that. But as a boxing fan, this ain't it. Like, this is not what I want to see. Will I watch it? Of course. It's Tank and Jake Paul. It's going to be somewhat entertaining, right? But you want to see Tank fight, obviously, the top guys in his division. Brian, let's quickly get to the card before we get out of here, because there's some very good names on this card, some very exciting fights on this card. And I think this will be another good card on Netflix. And I think Netflix has done a really good job in putting on these fights. And we know that they've invested also into the NFL. And I think we're just going to see Netflix doing more. And hopefully Top Rank goes to Netflix. That'd be great to have Top Rank full time on Netflix.
I think Top Rank just probably wants or Netflix rather just probably wants like one-offs. You know what I mean? Like these really big one-offs, which it makes sense. Like if I were Netflix, I don't know if I'd want to invest in like a constant weekly boxing series or whatever, but we'll get to card. We'll get to the card, and we got to get out of here. So we'll actually post it from
Box
because
rec?
no, because BoxRec doesn't even have the cards. We're here, and this is basically this looks like it's gonna be the co-feature. We have Alicia Baumgartner. Whoa, Alicia Baumgartner is gonna be fighting Leila Biodoun, who I think is French. I want to say.
Yeah, that looks like a French last name.
Notable here. No, because it's funny.
And she's Canadian, is she not?
I was looking at super featherweights literally yesterday, and I saw her on the list because she's ranked very high on a couple of the organizations.
Yeah. Is she not Canadian? Am I wrong?
I'll tell you right now. But she is, yeah, she's Canadian actually.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I've heard that name before.
We're both right, probably French Canadian. She's from Quebec.
Yeah.
So there you go. I know who you'll be rooting for in this fight. Actually,
Alicia
I don't.
Baumgartner.
Alicia Baumgartner.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you saying here? I'm voting for Baumgartner.
12 3-minute rounds. First for Alicia Baumgartner. Curious to see how she handles that, especially considering kind of ran out of steam in her last fight a little bit against Jennifer Miranda. A fight that I still think she could have lost. So
yeah,
we'll see how this goes.
It wasn't her best fight.
Gary Antoine Russell, Andy Hiroka.
Great fight. This fight's going to be dope.
This is a good one. Gary Antoine Russell was supposed to do media availability yesterday. Didn't see him at all. So there's that. But I'm sure, everyone was bummed out to not hear from Gary Antoine Russell. I think this is a banger. Do you think Andy Hiroka could win this?
Yeah, I actually do. I think it'll be a banger. Like, I think it's going to be a very good fight.
This is not a gimme at all. Ellie Scottney, who was exceptional on the Taylor Serrano 3 undercard. Mayeli Flores, they're gonna fight for undisputed super bantamweight world championship.
Nice. And then our girl Yokasta Valle
is
gonna be fine. This is the one I'm excited for. Yokasta Valle, who fights at minimum weight. She's a beast.
Against Yadira Bustillos. Yokasta Valle, I think, is exceptional. She beat Marlon Esparza earlier this year. This is a very, very, very interesting fight. And we also have one more. So this is low key. So Avius Griffin and Cesar Francis. Cesar Francis, who I've covered before, who's from Brooklyn, who used to train in Ridgewood. Not sure where he is right now, actually. But Avius Griffin, 17-1, 16 knockouts. Got knocked out in his last fight against Julian Rodriguez in June. That was an upset, a big win for Julian Rodriguez. Avius Griffin, good to see that MVP is not giving up on him based on that one experience. But Cesar Francis could punch, and I think this is a pretty dangerous first fight back. Cesar Francis has been stopped before, actually by Rohan Polanco, who Shantelle loves.
Yeah.
This is a very very interesting undercard fight. So it's a 6-fight card. It appears. Maybe there will be more added. Maybe Tam Tebow gets added. She has a fight coming up this week. If there's a quick turnaround for her, we'll see. But 6 fights so far. Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis going all the way down to Avius Griffin versus Cesar Francis, which I think is a pretty solid card, and I think this is pretty good matchmaking here. I gotta admit.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Drop your comments. Let us know what you think about the fights, and also if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Bryan, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope. Just the press conference is a circus, and there's going to be another one apparently today. So we'll be back. You should expect to hear us in a week. There's some fights this week, but it's kind of dead.
Yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully next week. We might have some interviews coming up as well. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And thanks for rocking out with us this morning.